Keep
I'm
talking.
prepared. I'm prepared to kill something today. Well, tonight or whenever, it's, opportunity presents itself. I did stalk looking for a person with the bow and arrow, with the fucking safety off, quiver, arrow, everything. I think that's the same thing. Wait, anyway, I got robbed again last night out of the car. Yeah. So, I fuckers. It's anyway. We can get into it in a bit. I'm fucking angst riddled. I've been a cop all day. I've been a policeman all day, and don't judge me until you've worn what some people think might be in a badge.
Walking the thin blue line today.
Yeah, I was called officer.
Don't judge Andy until you've actually worn a stolen security vest and walked amongst the festival goers, pretending to be a security first responder.
Yeah.
And now I did try to tape something. I failed today, and there was a lady downtown who was wearing a full security outfit. I was going to get a donut. I did a U-turn or banged a Yui there and on Broadway and parked in front of the Voodoo Donuts. But I saw this security lady fucking losing her shit. Like, she was just like a fucking street person yelling into the thing about the fucking liberals and you wait, they're gonna burn this whole place down when Trump wins again. And how shitty and disrespectful people are, and I was like trying to tape, so I was like, God damn it, they won't even respect the uniform. And she had some fucking, bathed in blood and shit like that was her fucking thing, and I don't know if she was the security guard who got spooked or what happened there. This was early in the morning, so this was a few days ago. But,
Andy, just to maybe fill everyone else in who isn't aware of Voodoo Donuts and what's going on in that area, Voodoo Donuts is maybe half a block from Burnside, which runs right through the middle of everything, down all the seedy areas, spider off of Burnside. So you are in an area that is filled with people. I don't know if they're wearing blood, or if that was just
bathed in blood.
But here's the deal. Eugene's is like the pussy version of Portland's.
Yeah, he's talking about Eugene.
Yeah, I thought he was in Portland.
No, there was a homeless guy sitting in front of Voodoo Donuts who says, "Careful, the door's broke." So I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And then he was like offering help, not panhandling. He was suggesting he would take donations, like putting a Venmo up at the end of an episode.
He broke the door and then offered to take donations for telling people that it was broken and to be very careful as they open
it. But after the encounter with the security guard, I was like, man, I don't want to hear that Trump's going to win. I especially don't want to hear that the liberals will be bathing in blood and stuff. And it's like, but I acknowledged her as a fellow security guard, and I could tell she was fucking insane and possibly not real security neither.
Bathing in blood's bad?
Well,
I heard it's good for the skin.
No, when Trump wins again, the liberals are going to burn it down, but then they're going to bathe in their own blood. Like, well, is this Rasmussen poll? Have you read how many polls have you read? Yeah, and how many polls off the meth pipe before you came up with that fucking fresh take? But yeah, but so the fucking community's fucking falling apart. The quarantine's one thing, but being fucking stuck in a place with smoke, you can't even fucking go out without full respiratory mask and shit. And then I got fucking, I'm up trying to make the most of it out, breathing my death fucking blow of wind to suck it in so I could take a hit on my deck. And I see my car doors open. I'm like, motherfucker. So I walk as fast as a man can walk down the stairs, get in there, and my shit's rifled. My edibles gone, my driving joints gone, a few pairs of shades, a little bit of cash, a cell phone, my burner cell phone. It's like they took my whole dick pic library. Like, you know, good luck
Well,
with
Those were
stuff.
the good years too.
You can
Those were the
contact
good
those
years
guys.
before
I'm
you were
sure they'll send
sad.
them again. They'll send them again. Don't worry about it.
So yeah, so that was like 5:30. I discovered the crime. So yeah, go ahead. I ain't going.
Shaylee, I love that you and I took completely different tacks in that attempt at a humor tag there. I assumed that the dick pics were all of Andy's dick from when he was younger and more virile, and you assumed it was a collection of other guys' dick pics that has been sent to Andy.
I don't want to
Either
say.
way, great.
I
Either
don't
way,
care.
fantastic.
I don't
It
care.
works both ways.
I'm not ashamed of my dick. You can't Anthony Weiner me. I don't care, and I didn't send him to anyone. You know how Dexter would take a little blood slide and put it behind his thing. Well, maybe nature jacking isn't. Maybe there's a couple of photos or whatever, and they're on my burner phone.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm proud of them. And if Russia, if you're listening, it's not that bad, right? Could be worse. Could have an ugly cock like you're a puppet. Anyway, I don't want to get political, but so.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Issues with Andy, the show that's like The View if it was hairier and drunker. So,
well, I'll bet
it's good
Joy
to see
Bear,
you guys
she
out
wouldn't
there.
like
Just
her
wanted to
fucking,
welcome everybody.
She wouldn't like it if somebody took her recumbent bike or whatever.
Stole her driving joint.
Yeah. It's like, it's like all rattled now. It's like, God damn it. And then it's like, when you find your car rifled, then you go, and then I was reaching for my joints. Like, oh no, how deep is this?
That was the first thing you reached for, Andy?
Well, I was upset.
Well, yeah, you got to get home. Got to drive.
Yeah. If I saw,
I think we're finding out that, this country is not the country we all thought it was at one time. I mean that, but it also on a daily basis, you have to start behaving differently. Like you've lived in an area and a lifestyle where you could kind of leave your bike out a little bit, maybe leave your car door unlocked. But right now your state's on fucking fire and everybody's running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and you're just gonna have to adjust, because that sucks. That's twice in 2 weeks.
I feel like the opportunity is because of the fire that most people have go bags in their car, and that's why they're fucking hitting this area again. Grab and go bags.
Responsible homeowner hit your fucking to-go joints and your sunglasses.
Oh no! I'm saying
they had a go bag and they felt like things were too sketchy.
No, because everybody's been on the news to say what your possessions that you want to fucking have when the fire hits your house with you in your car ready to go. So these
cars are all loaded up and these guys know it.
Yeah.
So
these guys rifled my car. They left the car door open. I doubt it. So I walked up. But again, it's this false sense way down a thing, and maybe they grab a bike. Anyway, I saw the door open. I fucking knew it, and shit was missing. I'm bummed, and then I go around and I see my neighbors that I used to not get along with, but now I did a comedy show. It wasn't on Zoom, but I used the house that used to be, and there was 3 of them down there, and then I was riffing on what a dickhead Marcus was, who was the previous landlord. I got fucking big laughs. I don't know. I might have heard a smattering of applause when I left, but I had other places to go, alerting other neighbors. But I was finding dump spots of shit that was stolen from people and dumped. So I'm up the top of the hill. I find
rifle the purse and then ditch.
The purse, ditch shit that they don't want, which still is annoying when it's missing. So and then I started talking to people and go, my car got hit, and they go, mine too. And I go, I found this, and then they're like, let me go. So I connected people with property. I found a bike. It was a Schwinn. I put it up on Craigslist. I think they ditched it because it doesn't have very good components. So I learned a lot about this fucking thing. So they took these glasses I had. They're for night driving, and I just had them made. And I'm not bragging. They weren't like, they're expensive glasses, but it cost me a lot to make them, and so the dollar value on it was more than I wanted to replace right now, and they were gone, prescription ones. I'm like, you fucks. So anyway, I walked the hill, talked to people up there, go down, and then I still see in piles. So I'm like, okay, this, and then I load up that bike, and then I go up around the corner, and there's a lady out there, and I go, hey, excuse. She goes, my car got burnt, and I go, yeah, and so I knew I was on the trail, right? I'm about a mile from my house, downhill, going up this other hill, and then into these dead end streets. There's 4 of them, and on the third one. On the third one, I go up there. I don't see anything, but I talk to another couple people who got robbed. So I'm still on the trail. So I go up Beach Street, and that's a dead end. I go up around there. I look, there's a place where a person could enter the woods. I didn't see any shit. I'm driving up that street. I slow down because I see a little stack of stuff, back up, get out, walk towards it, and my fucking glasses in their case that I had, so that was nice, I'm looking for.
You retrieved them.
I followed the fucking
you
trail.
You are on the fucking trail, dude.
Yeah. So then that I didn't see any more piles. I went up 4 or 5 more streets. Didn't see any more evidence. So that led me back down to that dead end in the woods. So I was about to go into the woods all willy nilly, and I thought, oh fuck no, this requires more than my usual ham-fistedness. So I went back and I got my bow and arrow, and I got camouflage. My ruse, and so I walked. I didn't find anyone. I'll ruin that. But
you took your crossbow?
Yeah, I was gonna go
back and got it. He went back and got it. But fuck yeah, dude!
I don't like
walking into those woods.
And the trail ended right there, and it's dead end, and there's woods. So I thought, okay, I've been back there looking for mushrooms. I know this area. So I got my bow and arrow, and there's turkeys back there. So that was going to be my thing. And if there's
I was illegally hunting, officer. I'm not trying to kill anybody.
No, I'm taking your job, officer.
I didn't mean to kill him. I was looking to kill turkeys.
While you've been fitting yourself for riot gear, bro, I've been out here knocking on doors, getting to know the neighbors, trying to organize it, following a hot trail.
Andy, I love that you followed the trail and you found your shit. Too. But did you ever at any time consider that picking up the stolen property and driving around with it might have been a bad idea? Because they might have thought you stole the bike. You got a stolen bike that you picked up and you're driving down the fucking road.
Too convincing, I'm like Ted Bundy.
I think
so how much did you get for the bike on Craigslist?
Like you're helping.
I put it on there. Said it was with. I took a picture. It's missing a seat. I could have put in the comments. I speculate that maybe the seat was better than the bike, so they took it. But I had when I posted, I got my bike stolen. Anyway, I walked through the woods. I didn't find anything up there, and it's also important because if there's people up there smoking my weed, and that's where the fire would come from, up in the hills there. So I was doing it for that too. Like if these guys are up here, I got to make sure these guys get an arrow in their belly. All of them.
Now,
I had 3 arrows.
Are you able to? I know every state's different. Are you able to carry around a crossbow as like you're able to carry a gun as concealed carry?
Open carry.
Well, why is it or open carry? Well, either one is carrying a gun. If you're like, would he have been allowed to? He's pursuing someone who has stolen his property and he's trying to get his property back. He would be more than allowed in most states to be armed to do that. Is it a problem if you're armed with
Erickson?
What?
Yeah, you're not supposed to pursue people. Yeah, that's vigilantism.
I was pursuing property.
But that's a different. I'm being totally serious here. Yeah. That's a different issue entirely. You're allowed to carry a gun around, is my point. So if you're allowed to carry a gun around for your protection, let's just say this. Let's say he's not directly pursuing his own merchandise. Right. Let's just say that he knows this trail is frequented by people who commit crimes, so he's going to be on this trail. He wants to protect himself. Can you carry a crossbow?
And really,
I didn't cougars.
I didn't go to like Target or anything either. I was like in the backwoods a lot. And in fact, when I came out of the woods, that was pretty dramatic too, because there was a couple guys talking up there, and I came out of the woods. Missed a step, and had like, you know, it's steep, and I had to fucking, you know, like like an athlete seeing the whole field. I was like, only had seconds to grab a branch, swing around, fell down, and come out of that thing, and then and that was those guys had been robbed, but I come falling out of the woods.
Now we've reached the reason why Andy shouldn't have taken the crossbow and arrow with him.
But I did leave the crossbow
up
in the woods.
Not a legal question.
I knew if I popped out of the woods and had a armed weapon and approached strangers, that they might take it wrong. Like, no, I'm a good guy. I'm the guy who stole your roadie. Only I thought it was free. That guy got robbed. Anyway. It's a throwback.
Open carry in Oregon, guys, it's a traditional state, but their preemption statute only covers concealed handgun license holders from city or county passed bans against loaded firearms in public places.
Well, I could walk around with big marbles in my pocket and do just as much damage, and those are probably legal. Like, I'll get it close and throw it in somebody's mouth, and they'll think they got the face.
Everyone has free open marble.
Yeah, open marble, open face marbles or whatever. But so anyway, I fell and tumbled, and then I started walking down the hill. And you know, when you lose possessions, you kind of do an inventory frequently. And I'm like, wait, where's my phone? I brought my phone because I was trying to get footage before giving up. And my phone's missing. So I'm like, holy shit, I just walked 3 miles in the woods with a respirator mask. I ain't gonna find
this whole time you had that big respirator.
Yeah, man. The air is toxic here.
Oh my God. You have to. I can only imagine what this guy looked like fucking traipsing through the woods. Jesus Christ. Predator.
Yeah. I heard some noise up behind me, and I went like I instinctivly pointed, and it was a deer, and it stopped and looked at me and like, yeah, man.
Was it riding your bike?
I said, I ain't that guy. I said, you don't have to worry. I ain't that guy. That's not what this is about. Yeah. Took off. Yeah.
But you got my glasses.
Yeah, it did not take off like scared. It took off like, okay, man. It's like
check you later.
I'm one of you. When I'm out in the woods, I'm one of them.
Right. You know?
I blend. Anyway,
that
so
sucks,
okay,
man. It sucks. It's hard when you get your shit snagged like that, when you know you're the victim, when you've been victimized like that rush to anger where you're like, I'm gonna do something right fucking now, and whether it's the smart thing to do or not, you run pell-mell into it, and now you're stumbling out of the woods with a crossbow and falling down and injuring yourself and yelling and screaming.
Thinking, why the hell I got bee spray to blast them in the face and crossbow, and I didn't eat breakfast. It's like 2 or 3 hours after I got up, no breakfast, and you know, but I'm fucking. I didn't eat much dinner anyway. I was like, why didn't I bring that Gatorade? I grabbed it out of the fridge, and it was so good right now.
I'm guessing it's because you had a crossbow and bee spray in your hands. Where the fuck are you gonna carry Gatorade?
Should have put a go bag together.
The good thing about a respiratory mask is when you
peel it off, go bags, depends on what.
If you've been working out or hiking in such a mask, when you remove it, you're pretty moist. So I was fucking really thirsty talking to them guys and shit, and I pulled it off and was back a ways, but I was like, the fucking sweat's dripping in, and it's like at least quenching my, initial thirst.
I would love to be able to tune into their podcast as they describe the maniac that came stumbling out of the woods today.
See, I definitely relate, but this is where I think I'd be better off because I could have a pistol that I could put in a holster. Yeah. And then go traipsing through the woods, which then, when you fall down the hill out of the woods, you're not carrying a fucking crossbow. Nobody is immediately like, holy shit.
Well, I sat it down. That was the one smart move because I was like, I didn't want to go. And plus, you want both hands for maneuvering down what is eroded to a bit of a cliff. So I basically, out of the angst of being robbed, being dry-throated under a fucking mask, being amped up to shoot a person, and then I set the bow and arrow down, and then I fell down. It was like a fucking Walking Dead episode where Daryl gets separated from his crossbow. It's like, oh no. And then I didn't realize I had dropped my phone. That would have been another bummer, you know. But I found
So
my
did
phone.
you drop your phone? What you?
Yeah.
Okay,
I went,
you found
but I
your
was
phone.
like, I pieced it together. I've been with stress and shit, but I was like, oh, probably where I fell off of that cliff. So there, it was right up in there. It was all tangled in a branch that I grabbed.
Oh,
I grabbed
my
a big
God.
branch
God damn it.
to stop the fall, and it snapped. I swung that around. Shit, if I spill this rum, I'm killing
We
myself.
need to
It's
just
over.
make this a show. We just need to make Andy just a
Oh.
daily.
Okay,
Just
so
have a camera crew following him
a
around.
week, or well, on one of our first episodes, or anyway, there was a guy in town who recognized me, and I think he listened to the podcast back then when I was getting ready to steal somebody's flowers. Not steal them, misappropriated a few extra sunflowers, and this guy was watching me, and I go, "What's the problem, dude?" And he goes, "Are you Andy Andrus?" And he's like, "What you'd call a listener or whatever." So Hobo Danny, he goes, "Hobo Danny, I've run into him. He's like my Huggy Bear." You know.
Yeah, you've
So-
mentioned him before.
So
I remember him being
Hobo
mentioned
Danny.
here.
I run into Hobo Danny
Big
today.
fan.
Yeah, and he said if he met you guys, he wouldn't, he'd freak out. He goes, it was enough to meet me, but if he met you guys anyway, he would also like the free pod only for free. I tried to explain to him that's a hit of meth that you'd have to give up per. Anyway, so I hung out with him, and he told me about bike crews, like fucking dojos of thieves, and he recognized the MO, and so Hobo Danny, I gave him a picture of the bike, and he goes, "Well, come back in an hour. We'll roll up on this crew that's got a chop shop." It's like, oh fuck, yeah, oh fuck,
This
yeah.
really is a Huggy Bear, Starsky and
Holy
Hutch
shit.
situation, dude. You
Yeah.
guys are coming back in. You're undercover now with Hobo Danny as your partner.
Hobo Danny.
Crossbow Andy and Hobo Danny.
Well, when crossbow, yeah, that's probably better because I was at this lady's house and she had kids, and I said, hey, I got robbed. She has a vantage point, so I was serving self-interest and also seeing if anyone had a camera trained. But a couple of kids squirted out, and one of them was named Andy. I go, "Oh, I'm Andy," and she goes, "Oh, he's Andy," and he looked like he shit his pants. But I interrupted that family, so it was maybe he was shitting his pants and getting ready to do something about it. But what I saw is a kid with a shitty diaper, and he comes squirting out, and the stairs there are very steep, and he's running. I'm blocking this little Andy with the shitty diaper, and then she goes, and then she referred to me as neighbor Andy, and then Officer Andy, because I had
Oh, good respect. You're finally getting some respect.
Yeah.
That's
So
good, dude.
Your police uniform?
Yeah.
She thinks I'm a fascist or whatever, but I was like, "Hey, little Andy, I'm not an actual cop. I'm just a neighbor."
Right.
Look,
if you can use an Oregonian's natural tendency to be pro-fascist in your favor, then you should definitely do that.
You're
and I don't
allowed.
know if this is good parenting or not, and I didn't get a chance to help this kid. But if his mother would have looked away, I would have done what I did to my daughter. Is she go, "Are you going to keep using your pants like a garbage pan?"
A garbage pan?
Or whatever, Are you going to use the back of your
The
pants?
confusion,
like
the confusion will cause your child to instantly potty train themselves.
Yeah,
Is that what you did to Delaney though? For really, did you shame her?
Well, I would make it funny, like, okay, well, if you're gonna just go ahead and use your pants like the garbage dump or whatever, then I guess you could say, "Hey, man," she did it pretty quick. I didn't really shame her. I just explained it to her practically, and she thought to her little self, "Yeah, maybe I will stop shitting myself."
Something practically.
Yeah.
At what age?
She was smart. I mean, she's smarter than me
Oh,
now.
kids get it, man. Kids figure it out right away. Once they realize that they're going to be like standing around in the diaper full of shit, and no one's going to be motivated to instantly change them, then they make the move.
That's your job as a parent.
I'll tell you, if I was sitting on a raw cabbage or something, if I had a rotten cabbage up my ass in my underwear, I would
you want to do something about it.
Hell yeah.
Kids don't have the same kind of psychology as a grown adult with a cabbage in their ass, Andy.
Maybe little Andy.
They certainly don't have the same backstory.
Yeah, maybe he gets up. Maybe he shits himself while he sleeps, and he gets up and he wanders around, has his morning coffee, and then he takes care of it.
I'm with Andy on this one. When we potty trained my kids, it was a lot of like, all right, once they knew what it was, okay, the potty's over there, they kind of know how to do it. Like, it's up to them at that point. Like, you're basically like, oh, you have a full diaper? Well, guess what? You knew where the potty was, so I'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Everybody can smell it.
You're gonna sit there in it for a second. Yeah, and then they realize that they could have. That's the best way to teach them because they understand that they're the ones who have to make this change in their life.
I also like to call it sitting in their own. Are you sitting in your stew?
You're gonna make a great grandfather. You know that, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I can't believe I'm the only one here with children that read child psychology books. You motherfuckers are just shaming them and torturing them into sitting in it.
Torture? Oh my God!
I guess somebody's gonna sit in the shit. I guess.
Yeah, it's better than showing anger.
You fucking sit in it. I'll get to it when I want to.
That's exactly how it went. I'm
Yeah.
busy smoking this meth, so leave me alone.
Yeah, but it's also like the ultimate focus. Like, you're a kid, you got a fucking uncomfortable mess in your pants, possibly causing a rash, and you're focused on whatever it is you're focused on. It's like that laser focus leaves you at some point. It's like my car door that interrupt. I don't know what I had planned for today, but I don't think stalking the woods with an intent to harm a person was on the list.
I agree with you.
I focused on that, but I'd like to think if I had a fresh fucking squeezed deuce in my britches, that I would have cleaned that, got the Gatorade.
That would have superseded the open car door. Like, we'll revisit the car door.
Andy's pretty passionate about tramping through the woods with a loaded crossbow and a can of bug spray.
I think that, yeah, I mean, as frightening as that all is.
Changing his pants.
Yeah, that just makes it more of a that just makes it more dangerous.
His underpants on the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe I should take little Andy's rotten diaper next time and throw that if this crew comes through. But Hobo Danny has a pretty good fix on the crew. In fact, the day my bike went missing, a guy asked him if he could help him move 4 bikes. I met a guy. Yeah, I came back to talk to Danny, and another guy was there with him, and he goes, "We don't need to go to the chop shop. That's the guy." And then that guy walks off. I met that guy, so he has a picture.
He's big bike.
He's
Mr. Bike.
He's little bike. They take bike, big bike.
Little bike.
And the chop shop is just
Mr. Little Bike.
Yeah, like why don't you just anyway
he's probably the guy behind the whole thing, Andy.
Well,
he's probably the guy who's fucking running the whole. Yeah.
Or maybe these guys are fucking homeless and will go along with whatever fantasy Andy brings them because they don't have anything else going on in their life.
No, Danny's a listener, so he's obviously got more going on.
Shop for bikes.
But
Shop for bikes, like an 80s after-school special.
Danny knows these guys because he's homeless and they have these encampments and these fucking newbies came in there. And so it's like there's like 2 or 3 crews work in my area, and Danny can probably put me in touch with my bike before the cops. I got put on hold for an hour.
Now it's Andy. Andy's going undercover, like he's a reporter in the Middle East, and he's gonna go meet the guy who runs ISIS. But there's a couple different caliphates in the area.
You did say a key word there. ICE. I'm going to get some crystal meth, and I'm going to ask around. Because I noticed the chop shop guy, and I don't want to throw Danny under the bus, but they were both very curious to get a hold of a third party who hasn't returned anybody's call.
Set up a trap for these motherfuckers.
I like
trap.
I like picturing a chop shop for bikes where there's like they have a Schwinn sprocket, but they got Team Murray rims, and they've got.
That's what. Yeah. You got a Gary. You got a Gary Fisher on a
when you go
Huffy
talk
there.
to him,
It's a crime
when you
against
go
bike.
talk to the main guy, he comes and talks to you while wiping grease off of both of his hands from his rolled up sleeves of all the work he's been doing. He's like, yeah, what do you need? Oh yeah, I got one of these over here. Come on. Just a din of activity behind.
Yeah, just putting the finishing touches on a Gary Fisher. But but here's the thing: is like kind of on the streets, crystal meth does a lot of talking, and those guys seem to be cut off from the supply. So if I could figure out a way to get down to get my bro from a same mother, a brother from the same mother, and talk to him and get some crystal, I could go talk to the shop guy and go, hey man, I want to work for you. I want to work with you, but I want my bike back and my phone, and those dick pics are personal, bro. And and the edibles, I'll get more, but shame on you.
Those are gone. The edibles are gone. The joints are gone.
I understand chasing the guys down, and I'm so glad you found your stuff, but I love that you've now gone to the next level where you're going to get into the methamphetamine business so you can infiltrate the bicycle chop of Eugene.
That would be a hell of a defense in court, wouldn't it? You get caught with a bunch of meth. It's like, listen, Judge, it was my only way into the illegal bicycling racket that I've been trying to crack for months.
You tell me how to get in here better.
This is the only way I can live down the shame of throwing a college football game as a quarterback, go undercover and surf with these guys, bang some meth.
Oh, I fucking love you, man. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
lock your car doors, man. You just gotta start locking everything up tight. That's just a thing. You're gonna have to start doing that now. You've got to it is what you said. Your state's on fire, so everybody's moving at constant. It's chaos there, and in chaos, shit like this happens. So
here's a plan. Here's my first plan.
Make sure you're safe.
Like you said, about a week ago, I got that bee suit, and I went and wreaked havoc one morning, just fucking wiping them out.
What? You got a bee suit?
I got a bee suit.
You buried the lead on this whole day.
I think you
got a bee suit 2 weeks ago?
How did Andy not show up wearing a bee suit on this podcast?
We stopped doing the double episodes, but that morning, that would have been the last one, I went out before daylight, like I do, and I killed them up good. Fucking dug in. Bees were landing on my. I wanted to tape, but you can't. The big gloves I couldn't get the thing to go. Anyway,
Andy.
Anyway,
here's all the taping. We've done this before, but talking about the taping. But yes, go on.
When the adrenaline's going. Anyway, so I thought I had them wiped out, but this one ground nest, I killed a bunch of them, dug way down, and I thought I had them. Hey. And they fucking there's the hole down there, and they regrouped. I killed a lot of them, but they got a new manager, and they got it together. So, but I know
they're still around.
Yeah. So here's what I did: is I got on my phone. I know they have my other phone. They stole it. I said, "Hey man, here's the deal. I got $300. I'm going to tape it underneath my mailbox. You return my bike, and so I was like, But my plan was to go down in the bee suit with a plastic garbage bag, stir up the bees, bag them, put them in my mailbox. I mean,
you're gonna load your mailbox with bees.
Yeah.
To sting the one of the 3 bicycle stealing rings that torment Eugene.
Until the UPS formally recognizes my box is not willy-nilly set up. The only people that open my mailbox are religious cunts, and we've already had enough of those around here. And people with restaurant flyers, and possibly somebody dropping off my stolen merch looking for $300 underneath. I realized that was like one of my schemes that was, Stanhope would have shot down. Like, you're going to put angry yellow jackets in your, I don't know. Maybe it won't work.
Well, in the last we talked to you about your mailbox, the mailman had actually delivered something to you.
Somebody
was going to poison him with bees.
We were going to we were gonna get him cookies. Remember that,
Yeah.
Chad? We were gonna be like, hey, the mailman deserves a batch of fresh, delicious cookies because he's delivering mail now to your.
I opened that box and there was nothing in it except for a JEDS or whatever those cunts. There's one of them down, down close to here.
At this point, you have to tell people your street address to get mail there.
Yeah, I don't know. I was considering like just fucking staying in the woods. I got 3 arrows. I'm in the woods. It's the perfect time to escape life. How do you kill yourself with a crossbow? Has anyone done that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, shoot it straight up into the air.
And then wait.
Mm-hmm. you gotta be really good shot, though, dude. Yeah. Be a baller way to do it. Yeah. Hi, Doug.
Brett, your hair makes you look like John Ritter from Bad Santa.
Nice. Oh, I think his final role.
The plus size woman. That was John Ritter at his funny.
I'm not gonna SHIT right for a month.
For a month. God, he was so great in that. Whatever happened to that guy? What happens to a lot of people? Yeah, John. Yeah, he was flying a plane with Harrison Ford.
He was the 20th hijacker.
Yeah. How did they know they needed to rescue people? Sean Penn was at 9/11 waiting to catch people. You explain that. I've been on that QAnon. Yeah, so I didn't catch anybody, but I'm in with the fucking down. If I get some crystal meth and my Huggy Bear comes through, it's like I feel way better talking to a homeless guy, Hobo Danny, about my stolen property. I feel like I got a 50-50 chance there. The cops put me on hold for an hour, and then I got an automated reply. I don't think they're going to crack
they're
this
busy. Case. Yeah, they're not gonna.
I called a person I know that's a detective.
Did you tell them your driving joint got stolen? For fuck's sake, it seems like they should jump right on.
How you drive and you like to smoke a cigarette? Well, I do that with marijuana.
Say that right away, sir.
I can't.
That's an ashtray.
I can't drink. I can't drive impaired until I've already reset the joints, but it's
You two look like the Proclaimers. You know that? They're the two guys who did that Walk 500 Miles song. Yeah. Like that's what they look like now.
They look like guys who might repossess your scooter in the future. It's a future scooter. It's now you don't. Now you look like a killer.
Proclaimers.
Yeah. Now we know why Derek digs holes around there, so Doug doesn't have to get his nails dirty when he puts the bodies there. Nobody will look there. Add Mishka to the pile. We know what you're up to.
Anyway. He'll be teaching a writing course at the community college anytime now.
Yeah. But what? I mean, it's fucking kind of, that's it, man. My whole day is just fucking running around dry-throated with a fucking gas mask so I don't breathe hazardous air, looking for somebody who stole some shit with a fucking bow and arrow. Could I wake up one day and not be
how long? Let me ask you. Can I ask you a question?
Over.
No shit. How long had the car been parked there before you realized the door was left open? And can you narrow down the window of when someone actually rolled through and broke into it? Was it overnight?
Midnight.
So this was in the morning. You saw it. Yeah. You saw it in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my Huggy Bear has pretty good idea what crew it is based on the open doors and the rifled shit. He goes, yeah, it's like the
way they opened the door.
It's the newly homeless. They don't know how to respect the homelessness or whatever. You don't shit across the street from your box. Number one, you shit down the street or 4 blocks away, so they don't come and find your tent or something.
You don't shit where you beg. Everybody knows that.
Right. And Danny wasn't begging. He was just had money suggestions. Oh, Doug, you'll like this. There's
You're taking money advice from a hobo?
Well, he does call himself a hobo. He's a hobo in the boxcar Willie kind of way. he travels around with a cat and he has adventures.
But he's really good with money.
Yeah.
But I go because he's working. He's
definitely your go-to guy if you need a bike real quick.
Okay, and I got robbed at this same market. I was talking to Hobo Danny about, do you ever run into that family with the accordion player? And he goes, no, there isn't an accordion player. I go, well, yeah, that family that comes down and that kid's a really gifted musician. He goes, yeah, they have a loudspeaker and they play it on their phone. I'm like, motherfucker, I gave that kid $5 for playing fucking. This guy's
drifted. I got it.
Yeah.
Pretending to play the accordion.
Right.
He's like busking, but he's playing the song on his phone.
Yeah. His parents are in on it. So the parents, and it's like homeless family, and then the little fucking lovely, what's the kid in that Christmas Carol? Little crippled kid or whatever. He sits there and he plays the accordion. He's all, little fucking Timmy. God bless us all. Timmy's sitting there playing that thing. And the best part of the grift, and this is when I gave him $5, is when the fucking sad, employee of market of choice has to run them off because they're grifting. They're not providing music. They're grifting. And then when they get fucking tossed out, I went over there and said, that's bullshit. Your kid's really gifted. And I gave him $5. I love that Santana song. You pander fucks. Oh, I love it because now I'm on to them. So
I love that it goes even deeper than that. It's because Andy thinks that like a security guard came over and kicked him off the property. It's their cousin who has a stolen security.
I find it hard to believe, Andy, that you could be tricked and not know the difference between a live accordion sound and an accordion playing on somebody's phone. I don't think that's possible.
Listen. I mean, we had one of those.
Distinct different sounds.
My mama had a squeeze box, and my daddy didn't like it when that came out because my mom never did learn how to play that thing.
Andy told me the accordion. You're really gifted. I have a really expensive bike I leave unlocked up the street. I have to go grab it right now.
Yeah. I'll meet you on the trail. I'll provide the music. Bring bananas. We'll fucking make some music, and we'll all sit around on stolen bikes. But I'm going to start my bike stealing dojo. I'm going to get some crystal meth, and I'm going to get some swing kids.
You're going to open up the.
I don't know. I think they're in that shitty movie about Nazi Germany. They'll dance a lot. We'll do crystal meth, and they'll say dancing's illegal. But we're going to steal bikes from the bike thieves. We're going to Cobra Kai.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. You're going to be the new Cobra Kai of the bike theft world of Eugene.
Well, nice. I mean, with Hobo Danny and my connections to, let's just say Larry. I'll throw that as the kingpin that runs three. No, the guy.
You don't have to.
And they're all looking for crystal meth. It's like, shit, man. God damn it. I should know that person here.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you get a lot of last-minute emergency calls, but I really need some crystal right now.
How close was your car to your house?
About 5-6 feet. I back it all the way up there.
Right. It wasn't like up by the street. It was all the way in.
Yeah. It's the same people.
Yeah. That's a bold-ass move then.
I was just like sitting on my deck and getting ready to take that first hit of drugs in the morning. And then I saw that. And then since then, I've been scrambling up until the chop shop job raid got canceled about an hour ago. So I came home and showered. He says, we're going to raid the chop shop. And then I looked at myself. I was like, wait, me and Hobo Danny, he was going to walk me into the chop shop and I was going to look around. But I realized
one of 3 Eugene chop shops for bicycles.
Right. And then I was like, wait a minute, I gotta dress more homeless. And then I realized, no, pretty much got it nailed right now. Like, what I wore all day is the equivalent of what Danny had on. He just was a little more.
Listen, you could definitely infiltrate the homeless bike stealing, market and world because you look like new homeless, I was a broker and then COVID hit and we shut down the thing. And then, I lost my house right away. And
my wife sent me to the store to get milk with the stimulus check. And I walked past the Dairy Mart. I kept walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be that guy.
And then weeks later, when you finally find that bike, you fucking flash that badge, fucking bring that whole goddamn thing down. It's gonna be beautiful.
I don't know about
a badge.
What?
No, he doesn't have the badge yet.
I got a sheriff's in Tombstone. I got a sheriff from Tombstone badge.
Star from Tombstone.
You probably quick flash it to little Andy with the shitty knife. Says, a real cop.
It says Wyatt Twerp on it.
Yeah. Hey, keep an eye out, little Andy. You know, once you clean your pants, you'll free up a lot of time to look around. I felt like a nuisance. I'm warning these guys of potential theft, and their kids' pants is loaded with sewage. I'll come back another time.
Maybe that's the cover. Maybe they were the thieves, and maybe all the merch was down there in the diaper, and that's where they just keep it. No, and who's gonna check there?
So this other lady I met, I talked to her for a minute, and then I went up the street, and that's where I found my glasses. So I knocked on a door there, and I swear that he answered. That there was a guy, and I just saw he had a T-shirt, and it looked like no pants. Like I thought he answered like I would, you know, what's up? And he sat there, and I thought, man, he's just gonna stand there pantsless. And I was telling him the whole thing with the mask on, and I thought, okay, he's gay. It's the fucking quarantine. He's okay, you know. He's like, you know, why not? You know, maybe I don't have any other hot leads. But then the lady came up. She was followed me up there, and she was like, and because she was following a trail of her shit, like, oh, that's mine. And she was up there, and then she told the guy, I thought you had your pants off. And he goes, oh yeah. And I go, yeah, I kind of did too. So I got to know neighbors, you know. I don't know about popular, but I told you know, yeah, you know, you get out to meet. You find out.
Buddy, you gotta find this.
Around me.
Yeah, you got to find the silver lining in these things. You got out there, you met the neighbors, you had a couple of laughs, you saw these people as other people, as human beings, as people, you know, you're part of your group, you know.
Everybody's a suspect.
That's not
there was a kid.
Oh, come on.
There was a
Andy. That's a fucking natural teammate.
If that neighborhood doesn't think Andy's the main suspect, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Oh, I could be on Ativan. I could have some drug problem and walk around and steal for myself. You know, what better way to go get content for a podcast than to be another night crawler character? Oh, I got robbed again. It just happened to be podcast day. And I followed a trail. I'll never get a security camera because then people will go, wait, we have security footage and it was you. It was you the whole time. Silken donation. Trying to
guy's wearing a hoodie that says security on the back.
I get Doug's son Guy to send me money from the Dairy Mart or Circle K he works at out of pity. I go, now my weed got stolen, and Guy's like, oh, well, I wore a mask for 3 weeks at Dairy Mart without taking it off, so they gave me a $60 bonus. And then what does Guy do? He Venmos it to me because I'm a fucking heartless fucking scam artist. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I hope little Andy doesn't.
You don't know how to play the accordion either.
Little Andy dies of diaper rash. Well, fuck, there's only room for one Andy on this hill, and it's not you. Thank you. I had Anyway, I'm gonna start drinking more hard alcohol. Maybe my internal bleeding will start up again.
Fingers crossed.
I need a positive. Are you guys? Yeah, you guys are fucking at the Dell.
Yeah, Dell, it looks like.
It's only been 49 minutes.
Well, I think they thought that was a fake background. Yeah, I knew that it was the real one.
So, Shaylee, I thought of this when I was doing that, riding that trail. You know, looking for
what trail?
Well, when I found stolen shit dumped, and then I worked my way uphill.
The burglar.
When you were, I think you were in charge of the merch table in Fargo, South Dakota, and Doug was on stage, and I was milling around trying to do damage control. Yeah, I leased a little spot down on the end of it, which happened to be by the door. And a guy walked out at Doug's show mad about his feature, mad about him, mad about the world, probably. And I think Greg was not paying attention to the merch table for that one split second of his career. And they took 10 of my unsellables and a stack of CDs out into the Fargo night. And I know from being a thief or smelling them or being among them is they'll fucking ditch shit that they don't need. And if they took it, like, fuck this guy, they're not going to take them and put them on eBay. They're going to put them in the garbage.
There's something no one in this world needs.
Instead of working on my craft, listening to Doug's set, I got pissed drunk and staggered around looking in garbage cans in Fargo. And eventually I found a bottle with a little bit in it and drank that. And then I threw it up at the fucking G of Fargo. I threw an empty bottle and hit it, and it didn't break. And then I pissed on the steps of the Catholic Church. But I never found my merch.
The only difference for you that night.
It was called the Aquarium. It was upstairs, and down on the street, all the cars were pulled in, parked, and Andy was kicking the shit out of all the cars as we walked back to the hotel room.
One of them's guilty.
I mean, I'm the one they throw the flag on, but they didn't see the face mask. Assault with intent to harm, but hey, man, he was offsides.
I think that guy who stole those CDs did you a favor because it gave you a reason to get pissed drunk and not watch Doug's set.
But that was like if I found one, I would have been on a hot trail, but I didn't ever find one, so I just wandered around looking in garbage cans, angry and drunk. And I've never been back. That's how upset I am.
Oh.
You would think, like Erickson said, you have to find the silver lining, Andy. And I think the fact that you didn't find them in the trash cans meant that they found value in those CDs. And they didn't just throw them away. They kept them, and they enjoyed them.
They're
still their friends.
I had a whole Billy Ray Schaefer second book in the Dakotas. Like what went on in South and North Dakota would fill up a whole man. That's fucking a great book.
I could tell some Dakota stories as well.
Yeah.
Drink.
It's a lawless place.
Well, everything
is. It ain't.
I haven't seen the sun in a week, and I've been robbed twice. Like they some, are you guys even masking up? What's that?
Oh, his car got broken into this morning.
Last night.
And then he went and took a crossbow and went traipsing through the jungle or the forest.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
That was one of the songs in my head. Run through the jungle. But man, I'll tell you what. I know how Rogan feels minutes before or seconds before he kills something. It's like when I trained that crossbow, and it's like this is what if that was say Stephen Miller or fucking Newt Gingrich, I would not have hesitated. I would have aimed a little bit up and above, and then I would have put a dart in it. But it was just a fucking fellow nature jacker or a deer.
A deer.
So, that's what
they are.
I kind of hunted this morning. I think I hunted. I was hunting for people, but I could have killed the deer and the turkey.
A couple pictures of us.
Yeah. Come down here and convalesce.
Yeah, I'm going to get that stimulus check and then say I'm going to get milk. One thing's for sure, my murderous rants are no mix for somebody who's crossing over.
Crossing over.
Well, getting further into the truth.
Oh.
The religion down there.
Gotcha.
What's going on right below my feet? I can't even talk.
Oh, I see.
I'm now.
That's what's going on.
Because of the hazardous air, I now have to say negative shit right above her in the same house. It's very awkward. I'd much rather be yard going.
Super passive aggressive.
Yep. Well.
Yeah. That's pretty close to a ranting atheist to have that a church, revival.
I always love it when that Michael Reagan ad comes on as we sit and watch Rachel Maddow. I'm an atheist and proud of it. Not serving a fake God. And like, oh, I thought all the Reagans were dick, but I like that other one. But here's this was a weird thing. Last night, I tuned in to watch Rachel Maddow, and what did I see? Fucking the Kardashians. And it said E on the thing. I was like, no, okay, CNBC or whatever, that channel. And it said Rachel Maddow. Yeah, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow. But the picture was fucking the Kardashians. And I went to E, and it said Kardashians, and it was Kardashians over there. So somehow, the dumbest fucking chick in the world was on TV when I was trying to listen to the Rachel Maddow show, because that's really all I have now. I don't have anything else. This podcast, but that's once a week.
And this is why you haven't stopped yet. That was fucking beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. I'm sorry you had to be personally violated to make it happen, but it was a good story.
Oh, when me and Hobo Danny bust up this ring, and then I
don't like this Cagney and Lacey hookup between you two.
I absolutely love it. I think it's very good for issues with Andy.
I see it as more of a Turner and Hoot kind of relationship, but
he has a little sidekick cat, which if you're going to be homeless and you got a sidekick cat, it's like my cat won't do a damn thing I ask of it.
Yeah.
And he has one. It must have to listen. So that's kind of cool. And Hobo Danny, he'd love to meet all of you guys, and he's a big fan of Stanhope's. He was the guy when I was stealing that flower, like, hey, fuck you, or whatever. He's like a fan. So it's like, I don't meet many. And they are down on, when I do meet them, it's like, I got to open my wallet or try to help them. It's like, oh man, I'm a big fan of yours. I've been homeless since 1980, or whatever. It's not a lot, people who find me amusing are people that find all the suffering they've gone through so fucking sad that they have to laugh at it eventually.
After it's completely broken them.
Yeah, I was broken for a minute. I was like, almost got weepy about my glasses. And then I'm like, check yourself, man. You're not going to go out and shoot anybody with an arrow if you're going to get weepy about a pair of night driving glasses.
Wait. So the reason you told yourself not to be too upset about having some glasses stolen was that it will hinder your ability to murder the person who did it?
I wasn't going to murder
see why
Here's my plan. If I come up on people, I was going to say, oh, hey, man, sorry, I'm just looking for some wild turkeys. And then I was going to scrutinize them and then possibly spray them in the face with the bee stuff. And run. Retreat, set up like fucking platoon or whatever. Run like Elijah or whatever. Yeah, run through the fucking thing and then set up. And then look behind you and then run. But I was sweating like a pig because of that fucking respirator mask. So I was beaten up a lot and I couldn't see my other glasses I had on all fucking steamed up and shit.
You see a guy in the woods and he's running and he's carrying a loaded crossbow and he's got a mask on and he's got glasses that are fogging up as he runs. He immediately trips over a log and almost brains himself with the crossbow, loses his phone, gets up, continues run, finds out later his phone is gone.
On the plus side of the ledger, I didn't break anything and I got to know some neighbors, I know some people who are going to vote for Trump up the street.
I still have questions, but I'll wait until the next
ask
portion
now.
of the pod.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on the next crime later. But here's what I need is some providual. I'm a better cop if I can stay alert. And I need drugs, night drugs.
You need the drug Provigil.
Well, or cocaine. I put myself in a life-induced coma every night about 6 o'clock, halfway through Rachel Maddow. I'm overriding my brain on saying, "Oh, you still got 3 hours left in you." It's like, no, coma. Duck out, man. There's nothing that happens after 6 o'clock that's worth being up for. Dinner served. So in order for me to stay up all night and watch my property, I am going to need some cocaine.
Yes, I understand that. But we could, as we've mentioned before, Andy, we could just get you a ring.com camera where we can set this up. And then just like
killing the wasps. There is a There is a simple way, and then there's the Andy way.
Hey, once again, I want to be in the middle of things as I usually am, and I would like to say I want Andy to have a Ring camera and cocaine.
Yes.
I think that's the best possible solution right there.
You're thinking outside of the box. You know, your teacher, grade school, put you in a box, and now you can't be put in a box. And you're right. You're totally right. I agree with the lower right corner on my screen.
Well, I don't suggest that you send Andy Andrist cocaine through the mail, but I don't suggest that you don't. And if you want to just send him money so that he can get it himself from Hobo Dan, then you could do that at Venmo right there. There's Andy's Venmo.
Hobo Dan only has methamphetamine, and he gets it from Andy. So I don't know if that's going to work out.
And if I get COVID, it's only because I was asking a favor of somebody, and he offered a crack pipe like an Indian would offer a peace pipe, and I didn't want to be like,
you don't want to be rude.
Nope. I figure if I get COVID from Hobo Danny, it's time to go. Time to check out. Yeah. Maybe I'll join my bike in the afterlife. Or maybe Doug will join us in the after party, which is coming up.
Maybe that just might happen. That's where we're going to be in a few minutes. And till then, thanks for being out there, and thanks for watching and liking and subscribing and telling your friends, and just being general, good, non-car breaking into people. That's what we want out of you. And if you're one of those people, then you should subscribe to Chad Shank's Twitch channel and watch him and his drunk friends play video games. That's very fun. If you got an Amazon Prime membership, you already get a subscription. You can use it on Chad. And we have issues with Andy merch at the Doug Stanhope store. So check that out. And Doug's new book, No Encore for the Donkey, on audible.com. Get that.
We're not pushing that guy's stuff. Oh, he's right there. Oh.
Oh, God damn it. See, and this is the ad for the Patreon, because what we're going to do is come back, we're going to make a drink, and we're going to come back and we're going to hang out for another hour or so on Patreon. And as you can see, Andy is moving into after party Andy phase, which is a new level. It's like you've defeated the boss of the first level of the game, and now you're at the next level of the game. So join us over on Patreon.
Andy keeps drinking rum out of the bottle. He's not going to get less funny.
I'm gonna mix it with this weed oil that they left in the car. It's like, ha, motherfucker, you left the honey oil.
Some kid destroyed his life like this.
Yeah.
Think of your career.
Yeah.
All right. We love you guys. Thanks for being out there. That's Shaylee and Chad. I'm Brett. That's Andy. We'll see you next time. Later.